My name is John Powers. I'm here in Gilbert, Arizona. Prior to Clever Investor, I was involved in construction, lifelong dream to get involved. I actually started with my dad's company, and that's where the major experience started with me. And then I started with a very large national builder. And at that point, I had enough experience. I opened up my own construction company, and I stepped forward and started doing a little work in California. I opened up an office in Phoenix, and then I opened an office in New York. And I've been very fortunate in life with the rewards from that. I had a lot of good teachers and a lot of experience, and I surrounded myself with a lot of good people. I didn't get to where I got to in life without good people helping me get there. To get into the real estate investing, it went hand in hand with construction. I've been, once again, very fortunate. When I got into construction, my very first project was a carriage house back in New York with my mom and dad's house. And it was a 1917 actual carriage house. And I started there, and from that point going forward, it was just in my blood. You know, when you're into construction, you understand that market, and it was easy money. You know, you got into it and picked up an old dilapidated house and went forward with it. Currently, I'm involved with 5 flips, and I also have another business that's going. But when you know the real estate market and the flip market, it's not work, it's easy. It's funny, I think with Clever, there's a culture and a community there, and I'll be brutally honest. When I first got involved with it, I had a longtime girlfriend, 5 years. She had some economic gains that she wanted to realize in life, and I was very fortunate once again that when I did a flip and a renovation, it was in California. I invested $190,000 in the house, put $125,000 of it in my construction cost to it. I sold the house for $987,000. So I made $600,000 just on one home. And when she wanted to be able to see and get into that idea that I had for her, because she was 55 years old and wanted to do other things, and I said the most amount of money I ever made was in a flip, and I was in other businesses and things like that. And I said, the only way we're going to do this is if you really have to really concentrate on other conferences and seminars that we could attend. So I did. I went through the whole motion of other companies. I'm not going to disclose who they are. You know, obviously there were some that were questionable, and we came to a seminar with Cody, and he was down to earth. I'm a very systematic person. I would really become involved in the conference. I challenged them at times. I'd ask them questions. And these are all like a preemptive strike. I knew the answer, but I wanted to see how much they had and how much more information they would volunteer. And I asked particularly a couple different experts in the industry that had these seminars. And I said, the Wall Street, Forbes always has Phoenix as the #1 market. And why is it the #1 market? And there's like, oh, you know, we don't know that. And I specifically asked Cody that. And he was the only one that actually answered the question. And he just came up with it and said, it's a transient community. There's always that buy and sell. There's always a market that's going to be there. And if you take a look at construction and you look at real estate, it's all based upon square footage of land. It's not the house. The land value is always going to retain that cost. And from that point forward, when it came to construction, it differs. You know, the national average is 67 cents a square foot for construction, and that's in remote areas. You know, I can do it I've done a flip for $310 a square foot, and that's fine finishes with marble and granite and wood floors and high-end millwork and cabinetry. And that's, you know, pretty much the quick summary of how I got involved with Cody. I liked the systems approach he had about the business. I think it's necessary. You can run a very successful business with the people you're surrounded with, but there's got to be a foundation and the fundamentals in actually building that and getting to the level that when you're successful, you get in there because of the systems approach to it. The thing you get out of Clever is it's a community, it's a culture. And that's the very basics of how you want to be able to evolve and build a business. There's people that I met, in the last couple of days that had zero experience going into construction and flips, but yet Clever had everything and the basics for them to follow. It's like a system and how they approach it and how they want to be able to do things. So you can be a librarian and be successful. You can be somebody like me that's in construction, and yeah, I mean, I've got to have, rough edges polished. There's things that it's a whole thought process that you have to go through, and if it's well received, you're going to be very successful. You have to immerse yourself in the entire product. Everything from getting involved with the community, because in that networking opportunity, you're going to hear from the people that just had, a start and wanted to do better. There was a passion there, and they were driven and kind of follow that cue. They did it for a reason. They didn't feel fulfilled, and they wanted to be able to get something that was more rewarding in life, all the way to guys like me. Again, I've been very fortunate in life, but you still have to learn the fundamentals and the basics to really have a rewarding experience.